if he's able to defend well with just those Marines and medics. And Savior looks like he's going to be going from the north onto the main, and he is getting his Hydra's Den again. So he's going for a similar build as he's been doing this entire series. Probably going to get some lurkers afterwards. And just this time, the main difference has been that he's got a Zergling attack out early, and that's really cost Nada. And Savior really able to pound away at those fire bats. He catches 2 of those fire bats, who are just unable to do anything. And Savior catches the SCV building that factory, so it's going to delay Nada's tech down quite significantly. And doing a decent harass here, although Nada's doing very well in defending also. So, yeah, we'll see if Savior manages to go to lurkers, and he is getting his evolution chamber down too. And Savior's now going in, I think, for another attack. Although I do see a couple of turrets up for Nada at his main command center, so it might not be that effective. And Savior going for another harass here, picking off a few Marines. You know, one question I have as I'm watching these mulas, because I wonder if this is from before the days when players had discovered the trick where they can group an Overlord or a Larva with Mulisks and have them clump together. Because I see Savior's Mulisks aren't that fully clumped together as you know, other players later on have shown in recent days. I know this trick was only discovered fairly recently, actually, really showing that StarCraft still has a lot of secrets that are being unrevealed, even as you know, it's a 10-year-old game. But you know, these Mulisks don't look as clumped as they do in recent games with, say, Jaedong or even Jelizerg recently. And it looks like Savior is actually morphing to Hive fairly quickly without doing a lurker attack first. So we'll see if he decides to go straight to Guardians even, perhaps, or just goes and builds more lurkers and defilers. We'll have to see. Actually, I'm not sure about Guardians. I mean, he does have a good number of Mutas, but it's going to be hard for him to go Guardians if Nada has Science Vessels up. We'll have to see. And Savior going for a little more harass there, taking down another chart. And yeah, those sunken colonies are going to prevent Nada from getting a good scout in with that SAV at least. And it's interesting to see Savior go for Hive without dedicating to lurkers first. We'll see if Nada catches onto this and decides to go for an attack here, while Savior only has a couple of Mulisks around. But Savior just doing an excellent job keeping Nada's Marines in his base, and it looks like Savior is going to get lurkers, so we're probably going to see defilers to use as gas. And Savior, once he's got the 3 gas, he really can get a couple of defilers out. And we'll see if he decides to expand again to pick up another gas to really be able to capitalize on his Hive units. And Savior just picking off more and more SCVs here, and these Marines are sort of helpless to stop him. Savior has just taken down so many of Nada's Marines here that Nada cannot push out. He just simply does not have the forces to, especially with these lurkers coming out now. And we'll see what Nada can do in response. He's really playing defensively this game. That's not Nada's style. That's not the style to play against a top-level Zerg like Savior, who is so well known for his late-game units. You really just can't let Savior go unimpeded into late game. And looks like Nada's got 2 tanks out, and Savior is just taking down that neutral building there and opening up another avenue here. And Nada's, you know, Nada's got a decent force out, and looks like he just shot his own fire bat. Very interesting, maybe to free up some control there, but that was bizarre. Just bizarre. Maybe a misclick. I don't know. Just executing that fire bat. But anyway, Savior looks like he's opening that path. I think he's probably just getting an expansion actually. And Nada's going through here in the middle of these ridges, and he's bringing his tanks first, and his tanks are going to take a little bit of damage. But Savior's burning his lurkers. He's going to slow down Nada until he gets his Science Vessels out. And he does have a Science Vessel out. So Nada is going for the attack here on the main. And we'll see if Savior manages to get some defilers out. Savior has a huge field of sunken colonies, placed very well so that Nada can't attack more than one without unsieging his tanks. And that's going to slow down Nada's advance until probably Savior has his defilers out and is able to take out this force. And Nada just trying his best to get in range. And Nada's being a little bit impatient here. She's just going in with Marines and medics. It's Savior deciding to go in for a flank or an attack on the main, actually. And Savior once again showing that he is not afraid of having Nada's forces at his doorstep. He's not afraid of moving out still. And look at this. Savior has managed to sneak in from the bottom left. A lot of forces into Nada's main. Oh, just devastating Nada's main. This is just such a great attack here. And Xavier just showing that he's able to just fearlessly attack when he should be going in the defensive, when all logic would say he should be on the defensive. But Xavier just showing he has the balls to just go for it. And Nada trying to push in. He might be able to take down Xavier's expansion, but the Defilers come up, and I think Xavier is willing to take this exchange here. Nada is going to lose most of his production buildings here, while only being able to take down one expansion from Xavier's and none of Xavier's tech buildings. And Xavier's still in the main with those Zerglings and the Lurkers and the Mulisks. And once Xavier decides to move in those Lurkers, he's going to take down a lot of SCVs. And Nada can't push in. Those Dark Storms are just all over the place. Xavier using Dark Storms and just only a handful of units very effectively in taking down Nada's attack here. And Xavier's got a Lurker on the ridge, and Xavier's going to bring those Lurkers into SCV line. I think Xavier's going to take this game right now. Nada still with a larger force at Xavier's front door, but just unable to push in because of those Defilers. And Xavier taking advantage of that terrain so well, using that ridge to take out a lot of SCVs. I'm not even sure if Nada notices that happening. He's got so much going on here. And Xavier, once again, just with a handful of speed-upgraded Zerglings, just able to take out tanks and delay this advance here. And Nada hasn't even been able to take down the expansion hatchery, so he's really falling far behind. He's lost all of his mining at his main base, and probably most of his mining at his expansion, so he's not getting any resources. And he's lost his, I think, both of his factories and the starport, so he really is just stuck to building medic marines. Yeah, and now the barracks coming down fire, and Xavier is just taking down all of Nada's buildings, and Nada's losing his only force remaining here. It looks like Xavier's going to take it down, and Nada's bowing his head. This is just too bad for Nada. He had such a good plan of attack, but Xavier just totally wrecked it by opening up that bottom left path, attacking when he should have been defending. And Xavier picks up his first OSL title here. Good game, Xavier. Good series, Xavier. Xavier wins 3-1, and he's overcome with emotion here. Nada can't be unsatisfied, though. He really was beaten by a very top player, and Nada does, of course, have 3 OSL titles to console himself with. And Nada playing very well, just not seeing Xavier coming in from the bottom left. I hope you enjoyed the series, and Xavier getting congratulated by the rest of his CJ team there. This is Xavier at his peak, and I don't know if Xavier has done any better than this. I mean, this is, of course, a great performance since then. So next, I think I'm probably going to do Boxer versus Reach, actually. So probably from 2002, believe it or not. And so if you like some top-level Terran versus Protoss play and some old-school play, you can find it in my channel. Hope you enjoyed this series. Please leave any comments that I can improve my commentaries with. And good games. Catch you later.